여보세요. 저는 좋습니다. 감사합니다. Okay, the next EP from Twice, What is Love? This may be a little bit chaotic. We'll see. Not the album. Well, maybe. I don't know. Possibly. But with this album review, I'm going to have the lyrics up also. And I haven't done this since I think between 1 and 2. I just decided I was just going to listen to the music, the mixes and everything. But let's try it out for this one, right? Let's just see how this goes, because I think it will help to perhaps specifically point out maybe some of the lines and refer to whose line it was at a certain part. That might come in handy here. It might help to perhaps explain a little bit more, or just go into certain thoughts about what different parts are, and even the meaning too, as well as the meaning of the song. And so there's that aspect of it as well. So I'm gonna be a little bit split up here. As far, hopefully my attention doesn't get too divided. But my allergies are going crazy too in the meantime. So just another little thing to add on top of it. But that being said, with the stage set there, now What is Love? There's already a video for What is Love. It was the live acoustic version from I think it was Twice Land Zone 2. That was a very good version of the song, especially the live performance. It's a good one, right? To go back and watch, especially now. So that has its own video already. The acoustic version is really, really good, man. It's such a great arrangement of it. There's two, right? You got What is Love, that acoustic version, and then you got 1 in a Million too, that live version of the song, which is another video that's already separately done. But they're so good, especially those the acoustic versions. 1 in a Million, I will say this just before jumping into this one. 1 in a Million, it's just one of those songs. It's quite simple. It isn't complex. I have looked at I have the chords to it. I've played along with it. I played along with the song. It's not a complicated chord progression, especially once you have a capo, which kind of is required for the song. It's not necessarily required, but it's a whole heck of a lot easier once you have it there. And it's just too it's a great song. It really is. But it's too much. I can't make it through the song without getting all mushy. I just can't. It's too. I could listen to it and make it through, but there's something to playing it. I don't know. It might just be part of my own experience with that. But once I have the chords to something and I sit down and I play it, it's just it's a whole nother level of the realization, and I can't make it through. I can't make it through the song. because it just hits too hard. Like it's entirely too much. That being said, it's really fun. It's so easy to play. Like once you pick it up, it's not difficult to play. It's just the actual like gravitas of the song, the actual emotion that comes along with it. That's like it's quite sublime. I will kick this off. We'll do 3. Part 1. We'll do Sweet Talker. We'll do Ho and Dejavu, and then finish it off with Say Yes and Stuck on the next video. So let's not go too long here, and let's kick it off with Sweet Talker.
고민하지 마 아무라 안 들려 알아서 할게 정신 좀 차려 좋은 걸 어떻게 정신 못 차려 듣지 마 sweet talker sweet sweet talker 너 때문에 약해지잖아 내 맘 흔들려 내 머릿속에 넌 you 듣지 마 sweet talker sweet sweet talker 공감되는 심장 좀 붙잡아줘 슬퍼하지마 괜찮아 너 같은 사람 꼭 만나 정신 좀 차려 좋은 걸 어떻게 정신 못 차려 듣지 마 sweet talker sweet sweet talker 너 때문에 약해지잖아 내 맘 흔들려 내 머릿속에 넌 또 you 듣지 마 sweet talker sweet sweet talker 공감되는 심장 좀 붙잡아줘 꿈이었음 좋겠어
A kiss at the end. So this is like it's so upbeat, it's so full of that Twice energy, like this kind of going back to Do It Again, some of that early Twice energy, right? Lots of synth in the sound. Really awesome 808 bass again coming in, those double stops, boom, boom, right? It's a really fun mix, dude. The percussion, definitely electronic drums, right? That and those crazy fills too, like to cap the end of a what is it, the chorus section, I think, or maybe it's the verse section. But those are incredibly fun fills. It's an interesting song too. It's a little. I mean, it's fun. It's fun. Just the whole concept here. Don't listen, sweet talker, sweet talker. My heart's getting weak because of you. Shaking up my heart, you in my head. It's only you. It's a clever song. It really is. Don't be deceived. It's kind of like, it says don't listen, sweet talker. It's like the don't listen part is introspective. It's like saying, don't listen. I can't get caught up in this, right? Don't be deceived, right? Like, I can't let myself, I can't get hooked, right? Like I can't get all caught up, you know what I mean? Like, it's interesting. It's cute. It's a very cute, type of song. There was that, I think it's Suyu's line, I wish this was a dream. It's like the break in the song where the mix kind of, you get the aua, sweet talker aua, and then there's like a little bit of a break, and you have this that sort of lo-fi electric piano that's going on, and it's only the vocal. Like that's pretty much the only thing that's going on. That was like such an, it's the only part where the song kind of like really slows down. Even when you get those drum fills in, like most of the mix is quiet at that point. Like everything, all the other parts are kind of at a rest, but you get those like those super fast drum fills that are going on. So it just, it kind of almost ramps it up, even though like the rest of the mix is at rest. Just the upbeat, energy of those drum fills like actually recharges everything and brings it back up. You're like, oh man. But there's that very busy percussion. I think it's in the chorus. Like I think it's how like the sort of second half of the chorus phrasing. Like the you parts, the only you. That electric piano is following the vocal line on that arpeggio, and like it's such a nice little rhythm that's going on over this very, very busy percussion and bass. That part, the drum and bass is going crazy, but there's actually so much space in between what the vocal and the piano part is doing there, and it's a really nice, sort of legato flowy type of arpeggio sound over this super busy drum and bass part of the mix. It's fun. That's a really fun song. It's got all of that, like even early Twice energy to it. It's like, oh man, that's moving. That is moving. That is fun. That's a really fun song. And oh man. So, picking up, I'm gonna have to listen to the album version of What Is Love, just to see, if there's a difference from the acoustic arrangement of it. Because I think there is. I think there's more of a mix there. But it's certainly, this album is moving by the second track. Like okay, like it's very, very busy, right? But it's super fun. That's an incredibly fun mix. Lots of wild synth sounds and loops that are going on. The percussion though is mad. The 808 bass. Oh man, like that's. It's very Twice. It's very, very Twice. It's a bit of a throwback. It's like I was saying, the first full album, then the Twice-togram album. That is sort of that the climax, the conclusion of the first chapter, if you will, where they built themselves up over and really defined themselves in terms of the sounds and the styles and everything, and then they were like, okay, this is, they're embarking on that great sort of narrative, the great epic journey of the story arc, and they're very well equipped, and they're ready, like they're at their prime, right? They have just entered it. And so what was fun about this song in particular, the vocal stylings are great. I really like the way the verses go. It's almost, there's quite a good balance between like rap delivery and then also sung, like, vocal line delivery. And so it's a bit of that early energy, that comes across in the performance of this song. It makes it like really, really fun. That's cool. It's a very fun song. Okay, so moving on to Ho. I think it's like, Ho, like that kind. You know what I mean? But let's check it out.
매일 걸었던 그 길이 분명히 길이 맞는데 오늘은 다른 것 같아. 와야야. 마치 구걸하신 거 오늘은 화창해진 게 괜히 날 위한 걸까. 와야야. Hey boy, listen. I want your love, you know. Oh baby, 세상 모든 것들이 마치 날 위해 준비된 것 같은 나. 어쩜 이렇게 날 설레게 만들어. 네가 날 만들어. 네가 날 만들어. 너 때문에 머릿속은 round and round and round. 나를 바보로 만들어 또 자꾸만 웃음이 나도 모르게 별 볼 일 없던 내 맘이 너로 채워져 이만큼 지내고 싶지는 않은데 정말 꿈이진 않을까. 어떻게 너와 내가 갑자기 부끄러져 Oh baby, 세상 모든 것들이 마치 날 위해 준비된 것 같은 나. 어쩜 이렇게 날 설레게 만들어. 네가 날 만들어. 네가 날 만들어. 너 때문에 머릿속은 round and round and round. 나를 바보로 만들어 또 자꾸만 웃음이 나도 모르게 안 그런 척해도 다 지금 얼굴이 달아올라. 어떡해. 새하얀 내 맘속에 네 손짓 하나로 새하얀 내 맘속에 네 몸짓 하나로 너로 가득 찼어. 네가 날 만들어. Oh baby, 세상 모든 것들이 마치 날 위해 준비된 것 같은 나. 어쩜 이렇게 날 설레게 만들어. 네가 날 만들어. 너 때문에 머릿속은 round and round and round. 나를 바보로 만들어 또 자꾸만 웃음이 나도 모르게
I'm almost getting like gospel vibes from this, like, it's again, it's pretty upbeat. Like this is pretty. It's one of those tracks that's like there's a lot of eighth notes going on quarter notes for the most part. Nothing's because it's so fast. It's like 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. So your eighth note's gonna be like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the 16th is gonna be like 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. So it's like that would be incredibly fast. What's really fun about this song, the gospel stuff is a lot I'm getting that vibe because a lot of the vocal, right? The clap used in the percussion, and then there's a very staccato, it sounds like a synth organ sound that's going on. So it has a little bit of that flavor because of those elements of it, right? What's really fun about this song too is that a lot of things aren't starting on the downbeat of 1. So if your count is like a 1 2 3 4, for example, that synth organ part, it comes in a lot on the 4. It goes 1 2 3 ba 2 3 4 1 2 3 ba, right? It's like almost like a pickup, right? Where you come in on a beat or even sometimes half a beat before the 1. And a lot of the vocal lines, they start maybe on the end of 2 or even on 3, but they don't start on 1. Even right at the beginning, right? A lot of these lines it'll go 1 2 and then right, like it comes in like that, and it's sort of like it almost has a bit of a swing to it. It sort of like swings you up to the 1 da 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 da. Like it's really quite fun rhythmically because it's so it's a very deliberate type of syncopation that's going on. And there's oh my goodness. Okay, I think no, where was it? Okay. So the line is, I try not to act obvious, but it's obvious. My face is getting hot. What do I do? This is almost kind of another like break kind of. It's not really like a full-on bridge. You could think of it that way, but it's more like a song break. But there was really, really great harmonies going on here in the vocals. Like this line, let me see, it's going to be Mina and Gio, right? They're the ones who are singing this part. First, it's Mina, and then Gio takes the second half of that phrase there, and they're singing a lot of oohs, right? Ooh, and they're outlining the chord that's going on in the progression right there. But it's such a sweet spot. It's such a sweet center of that song. Like, oh man, the Sweet Talk had a really cool break in it also, and in this one, this is just all harmony. Like it's all. I don't even. Certainly by Gio's line, the second half of that phrase, there isn't anything else going on in the mix. Like it's all vocal harmonies right there, and it's like so smooth, man. It's such a nice little sweet spot in this song. But it's pretty straightforward. Your percussion is on, right? Like that 4 count is there, and it's very consistent. Like there's not too much going on, no crazy fills and things like that, right? Like it doesn't really do all that. But the way that the rhythms are in the vocal are, like, the way it comes in before the 1, and even that little staccato sort of organ, synth organ that's going on, coming in on 4 and 4 1, right? 4 1, and then it'll come in on 1, and like that's what makes this song fun, is the way that it's very like deliberately syncopated, to have the vocal lines begin sort of halfway through a measure, and that's what's, it's sort of dropping you off on the one when it comes up to that point. But it's a blast. It's super fun, and like I'm getting almost like a sort of gospel vibes from this, as far as the genre or style that kind of informs it, But it's super fun. That's a really fun song too. So 2 for 2 on these songs, like being absolute, just complete fun, like just a good time from start to finish. It's no, Sweet Talker was crazy. Sweet Talker was just like, man, like it was so upbeat and it was so busy. Yeah, and the way that the vocals were structured, the sort of balance between a lot of rap delivery or even that sung rap kind of style, and then like it's super busy. This song a little bit more straightforward, right? But still just as fun, like just as much fun. So that's 2 for 2 so far on songs that are like just a blast to listen to, for sure. Okay, so let's do Dejavu, and that'll be the conclusion of the first part here.
네가 나를 봐 온몸 질문에 떨린 끌림 가득해 잠이 아닌 것 같아 그런 너를 따라 시작된 숨바꼭질 느낌에 다가가 아찔하게 시작돼 내가 너를 찾는 그 순간 바로 너 꿈을 때문에 너를 마주해 알때마다 괜히 궁금해 다가가서 말을 건넬까 알 수 없는 맘이야 어머 너와 눈이 마주쳐 나와 같은지 가까워져 우리 둘만 아는 얘기야 너와 나의 데자부 Say yeah! 눈을 비벼 다시 봐도 지루한 게 뭐야 너는 계속 흥미로워 너 자꾸 궁금해져 That's why 싶어 you 다가와줘 yeah yeah 나를 따라 그래 그렇게 바로 너 all as a fool 꿈을 다는 너를 마주해 알때마다 괜히 궁금해 다가가서 말을 건넬까 알 수 없는 맘이야 어머 나와 눈이 마주쳐 나와 같은지 가까워져 우리들만 아는 얘기야 너와 나의 데자부 그림자 사이로 나를 따라와줘 놓치지 말아줘 옳지 그렇게 더 천천히 다가와 네 맘이 닿으면 내 맘이 더 가까워질 것만 같아 꿈을 타며 너를 마주해 알때마다 괜히 궁금해 다가가서 말을 건넬까 알 수 없는 맘이야 어머 너와 눈이 마주쳐 나와 같은지 가까워져 우리 둘만 아는 얘기야 너와 나의 데자부 Love it! 알때마다 괜히 궁금해 다가가서 말을 건넬까 알 수 없는 맘이야 어머 나와 눈이 마주쳐 나와 같은지 가까워져 우리들만 아는 얘기야 너와 나의 데자부
What I'm really liking so far about this, well, okay, so no, I think in pretty much all of them is the presence of the vocal harmonies. It's like, who needs a rhythm section? It's really impressive. And this, the la 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 parts, right? The sort of like post-chorus section. There's a that's sort of like the lead line, right? Is the la la la's, but there's vocal harmonies that are going on that are really that's the chord progression. Like it is so much on that sound. Everything else is, there are other sort of loops and other sounds in there, but they're there to accent, and they're there to kind of highlight things. But the vocal is really just doing all the work. Now this song is interesting. We got the sort of like verse, the intro in the verse. We have this sort of march, like drumline type of rhythm going on in the percussion. And then there's a lot of rap too, like Chaeyoung and Momo. Momo sounds like really good, especially like second verse. She has some, or no, is it? Let me see. Oh, Taeyeon, and it's Dubcheng, right there. Yeah, it's Dubcheng. Although Momo sounds good also on her lines for sure. Not to take away from Momo's work. Everybody's kind of serving on this one for sure. Because you'll have like the Dubcheng kind of, taking the first phrase in the verse section, and then you've got Momo, Sana, and Nayeon following it up with sort of individual lines lining up like the second half of the verse there. Really a very nice delivery on all of that. Then we got Mina and Suyu coming in after that. Oh, this is interesting. This is super interesting. And then Jeongyeon and Sana. Okay. And then the Say It. There's Che again. And then what do we got? I'm looking at Nayeon. Okay, so Nayeon and Gio doing the lead on the la 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 parts, and then the others are doing the harmonization around that. Okay. Super interesting, man. And then so it's like drumline, sort of percussion, and then moving into like almost like an EDM sound for the chorus sections, and then we got a dubstep like break after the bridge. We had a full on bridge section in this song for sure, and then the drop, like it went pretty hard in that dubstep section for sure. Like, man, I was hearing certain elements in here, certain sounds that are very electronic and stuff, and I was like, okay. The little do, right, that little sort of retard, the way the tempo drops before they come back in on those sort of the cadence on that section, and then I was like, I should have seen it coming. You know what I mean? I was like, almost feeling it. Like I said, it's coming. Something's coming. Like something's there, right? And then all of a sudden, like this rather strong dubstep drop came on, and I was like, oh, okay, we're getting a little stanky here. Like, you're getting a little gritty now. It's fun. We're 3 for 3 on like songs that are absolutely like fantastic. That sort of march, like sort of drumline sound that's a bit of drawing from some of the earlier albums, right? Some of the earlier stuff. What is it? Page 2 has a lot of that type of cheery, sort of that sort of theme, like sort of almost sports kind of. There's a lot of that in there, so that's a little bit of a callback, right? But then I believe, this is probably well, maybe no, there's a couple of earlier examples, but that EDM sound, like, for sure, like being very, very, very clear, very definite, and then for sure, like, the dubstep. I don't believe in the discography so far I've heard that, not like that, you know what I mean? Like, maybe a couple of things suggesting that or getting close to that, but not full on dubstep like that. Like the drop, like there was more than one drop. There were drops, and they were like, it was completely full dubstep sound. No mistake about it, right? So that was really interesting, and like I said, coming off the heels of the Twice2gram album, because they were ready to start branching out into different sounds, and let's incorporate some new stuff. We have the stuff we know how to do well already, and they've already brought some of that back. Sweet Talker definitely had some of that early energy, that early Twice energy in it. Super busy percussion, very upbeat, and then when that sort of drumline sound comes in, okay, that's a bit of a callback, right, to Page 2. That's a bit of an earlier Twice sound for sure, but they have brought in new styles now, with that sort of gospel informed type of sound, and then we're getting EDM and dubstep sounds in this one. So this is where it should be. This is the continued evolution. This is the continued story, the continued development. It's super interesting, man. It's super interesting. It makes a world of sense. Like, this is where this should be. And so far, 3 for 3. Like, all of these songs are such a good time. These are fun. This is really fun. This is a really fun album. I mean, like, all of these songs, pretty upbeat, incredibly interesting. Like, just, not not what has already been done. Aspects and elements of what they have already done, but you're getting new sounds now. They're not just hanging around the same note, you know what I mean? They've decided to go ahead and venture out into other sort of areas and stuff. That's fun. This is really, really fun. This is a good time. It's getting quite interesting, man. It's getting quite interesting at this point. Okay, and it was fun to bring in the lyrics too. It has color-coded line distribution of what is what I'm looking at, essentially. So, it's letting me know, like, okay, this here is this part, it's who sings that part, who does this, and some of it's pretty intuitive anyway, but just to know for sure, it's like, oh, okay. It's actually quite interesting. Oh man, this is fun. This is fun. This is a very good album. This is a blast of an album for sure. Like, they've sort of took it up a notch. Is what it feels like for sure. Especially the tempos, the syncopation, the harmonization, the vocals, the absolute work that the vocals are doing now. I like, of course they were there before, like, they've been there the whole time, but I don't know, they're just hitting different on this album. They're just, you know, there's just something about it. There's just something about a lot of these vocal harmonies that feels stronger. It's not that it feels different. It's not that, you know, it's like it's got so much more power to it. It's like a lot of these harmonies are just have this richness. That it is informed by some of the composition for sure. Like that's inevitably the case, but there's just something about these arrangements, these sort of song, these breaks, these bridges and stuff. They're like they're just hitting extra hard now. They've just leveled up at this point. Twice has leveled up their, oh man, like this is fun. This is super interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna come back and do the second part with Say Yes and Stuck. And you know what? I might even just do What Is Love also, just to hear the album version, because this is getting like super interesting. So I might actually just go back and do that one also. Yeah, we'll see. Let me see how I feel after the other two. But I'm already starting to feel like I want to hear it, so I'm probably gonna put it tack it on there too. So we'll come back and check that out.